Hi everyone, how have you all been? As always, it is... Oh, hang on, I'm hearing my voice here, which I shouldn't be. Let's get into position here. Bear with me a second. So, great to see all of you again. Let's see, who's here? We've got Goat, Jislh. Got Big Bash here, the Dark Lord. Ethan's drawing is here, Gamersaw. Big Bash. Oh, Deadwolf Productions is also here. Khan is here, Cole. Joshman. Oh, it's so great to see all of you again. How's everyone all been? Got some interesting stories. We've got some very interesting stories to talk about today. Some very interesting stories, actually. So I can't wait to get into them with you. So yeah, Deadwolf says that's great tonight. Yeah, howdy. Trevor's like, howdy. Charles says, hey Eric, I won't be able to stay long because I have college in the morning. That's okay, buddy. Let's see. I've watched The Conjuring in theaters today, said Ethan's drawings. Yeah, check out my review if you haven't. If you want to know my thoughts on The Conjuring 4, The Last Rites. Okay, so I'm just going to let you guys in on something right now. Well, give it about 5 minutes. I'll then give you a bit of news. Something that's going to happen going forward with the live streams. I'm going to try something new, and you guys let me know what you think. But that's something I'm going to try to give a go. So I'm curious to know what you guys think about this. Alright, got G Gamer as well. Says, hi, how's it going? Not accidentally sleeping in through the stream this time. Yeah, that's great. You'll be able to join the stream, which is great. And like I said, we've got a lot of interesting stories to talk about here. Very interesting stuff. Some stuff that actually might completely change the industry, the movie industry, as we know it. So yeah, just you wait till we go into that. The possibilities of what could happen with this is both exciting and slightly frightening, to be honest with you. So we'll talk about that. Dark Lord says, I'm watching Iron Fist. How do you think I'm doing? He goes, I'm watching Iron Fist. How do you think I'm doing? Well, my question is, why would you watch Iron Fist? I would rather watch Daredevil Born Again than Iron Fist. And that is saying something, because you guys know I was not particularly a fan of Daredevil Born Again. Which will make another story this live stream very interesting to talk about. You can already see in the title. So yeah, now as always, you guys know if you want to ask any questions and have your questions answered immediately, then all you got to do is do a super chat or a Streamlabs chat. Links to the Streamlabs chat is in the description, and it's also in the pinned comment section right now on the live comment section. And as always, you will really support the channel if you do so. So, yep, just let you guys know about that. Goat says, Eric, have you heard about the VID situation? No, 4 VID situation. I don't think I have. Big Bash says, would you rather watch Batman and Robin or Cars? Probably Batman and Robin, because I think you can actually have fun with Batman and Robin if you watch it as a bad movie or like an Adam West type movie. Cars I just found boring as a kid, and I should rewatch that movie to see what I think of it now, but I'm just really don't want to. I'm scarred by it. I didn't like it as an 11-year-old, so I doubt I'll like it now as a 30-year-old. Rohan says, hello Eric, how was your weekend? My weekend was good, bud. I watched Demon Slayer yesterday on Saturday, and I really enjoyed it. The Infinity Castle Demon Slayer movie, I found that to be a lot of fun. Really did enjoy it. I actually gave my brief thoughts over on my Discord, where I've opened up a new anime category, sort of like text channel on my Discord, and we can chat about anime with that. And in that, I've actually dropped my thoughts on Demon Slayer Infinity Castle, and I really enjoyed it. Oh, hi Time Shadow, great to see you again, bud. Joshman says, how are you doing today? Whoey Tune more, and how's it going? All the next review on Who's Animated. Oh yes, so yeah, it's great to see you guys chatting. ZF Studios is here. Hi, thanks for joining the stream. Got a lot of interesting stuff to talk about. Ethan's drawing said, I'm excited to play Sonic Racing Cross Worlds early tomorrow. That game is originally coming out on the 25th. Ooh, so you get it early. Nice. Big Bash says, Eric, are you ever interested in checking out Attack on Titan? Um, my sister watched it a long time ago. She was suggesting that we should watch it, but no, I've not gotten around to it. She showed me text. It looked a bit all over the place to me, like it was doing a lot of different things, but I should definitely give it a try. I've heard a lot of people say great things about it. One thing I wanted to do was wait until they released more seasons, because I heard they took a long time to release new seasons of Attack on Titan. So at least now that they're all out, I can watch it whenever I want to, and I'll have all the episodes available, so I'll definitely consider it. Goat says, when did you start sleeping in the attic? When we moved here, which was about 9 years ago. So yeah, this was my room, and I made a whole sort of like studio out of it. So when you saw my projector review that I did recently, I was projecting it on the wall off on this side that you can't see off camera. So yeah, I'm looking at the wall right now that I projected it on, and I just recently watched the whole season of the recent season. Was it season 1, 2, 3? Season 4, aren't we, of Demon Slayer? Season 4. I just watched the entire season a couple days ago, and literally finished watching the final episode of Demon Slayer Season 4, and then an hour to an hour and a half later, I went to go see the Infinity Castle movie. So, yeah, I just recently finished watching Demon Slayer, the recent season, because I was just very busy. Goat says he just realised that I have a bed. Yeah, this has always been a bed. I've just been sitting in a very specific way, so you couldn't really tell. Charlton says, I finished the first season of Smallville a few weeks ago, now on season 2. Oh, cool. What'd you think of it? Of Smallville? Rainier seems to be someone who's new here. I hope I pronounced your name right. Says, hey Eric, when are you going to make a brand new day video? There's nothing really to talk about Spider-Man Brand New Day, because it's just small bits of information they're dropping. So if you want to ask me questions about it during live streams, that's fine. We can do that, and I'll answer the questions. But I don't think it warrants a dedicated video, because I have talked about my thoughts on previous live streams about Brand New Day. So if you want to know my thoughts, I would suggest you check that out. Cole says he can't stay the whole stream because he's got work in an hour. Well, that's okay. Stay as long as you can, and I'll make the announcement so you can hear it too. We got Afro here, says, hey Eric, funny you say that. I too finished season 4 of Demon Slayer in preparation for the Infinity Castle movie. God, the wait for part 2 is going to be brutal. Yeah, it is going to be, especially because the ending of season 4 was so epic. I feel my brother, he watched it months ago, and he says that he was like waiting, and it's like it was just such a long wait. Other people had to wait a year. Me, I just had to wait an hour and a half, and then I went and saw the movie. Oh, that was good. That was really good. Oh, Logan is here. Great to see you, bud. ZF Studios said, I heard Netflix is buying Warner Brothers, and I also watched your videos. It means everything to me. Oh, thanks, ZF. I'm glad you enjoy the videos. I really appreciate it. Let's see. What is... Josh Man said something, I think. How are you... Oh, yeah, okay. I already read that. Trevor says, about to rewatch the Dark Knight trilogy tonight since yesterday was Batman Day. Batman's my all-time favourite comic book hero. Oh, cool. That's cool. For me, I don't really have like a Batman Day or stuff because I watch Batman throughout the year. So for me, a Batman Day... a lot of days are Batman days for me, not just Batman Day in particular. Connor says, what's up, Eric? I'm going to start binging the Final Destination films for the first time tomorrow. Hope it'll be really good, and rest in peace, Tony Todd. Indeed. So, yeah, the Tony Todd was great in those films, especially when you see him in the first two. But yeah, those Final Destination movies are great. I think the fourth one is what people consider to be the worst. The first two are really good. I also like the third one, even though a lot of people don't. That was my entry into the franchise, was Final Destination 3, which I watched as like an 11-year-old on my own when my parents popped out, and it was just me in the house watching that movie. They were gone for a few hours. Watching that movie where it was just me in the house. I was 11, so the horror movie atmosphere really was effective. I was all on my own, and I didn't know what I was going to get when watching that first Final Destination 3 as my first Final Destination movie. I had no idea what to expect. I thought it was just a mad guy, like some villain that had put a bomb on the roller coaster or something. and the cops had to go get him because they kept showing the roller coaster in the adverts and in the posters. So that's what I thought Final Destination was about. And then when I saw that the roller coaster was such a tiny part of the movie and everyone just started dying in that opening and in the rest of the film, I remember saying to my dad, a lot of people just die in that movie. I did not see that coming. When I found out what it was, I was like, oh wow, never knew that's what these movies were about. So yeah, that was really interesting. The Dark Lord says, have you seen Nazar 2? Because it's worthy of the title of highest grossing animated film of all time, which it has. Oh, cool. No, I've not seen it, but I've heard about it. But no, I'm glad that you enjoy it that much, that you say it's worthy of that title, so I'll consider it at some point. The composer of Batman the Animated Series did the music of Final Destination 1. Yes, Shirley Walker, she did. Did I mention that in my Final Destination Versus video? I think I did. If you watch my Final Destination Versus video, Final Destination 1 versus Final Destination Bloodlines, you'll see that I actually talked about that. And I talked about how Shirley Walker actually did the music for it. So yeah, I am very much aware. I've talked about that. Really surprising. Charlton, what's your most anticipated movie of next year? That's a good question. I don't know why I'm blanking on the movies coming out next year, but there are some good movies coming out next year. Like, I know there's some that I'm anticipating. Let me quickly look it up. 2026, but I know I'm anticipating some. Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey is a good example. Clayface is a movie I'm really interested about. I want to see how DC does that. But I'll say Nolan's movie right now. That's what's kind of in my mind. But then again, I don't know. We have to wait and see if it's a good one. I'll just say the Odyssey is an easy answer. I'll just say Clayface. That's the one I'm the most curious about. Because it's going to be the most different out of these comic book movies, and it'll be low budget too. Electrify says, do you think Scream 6 is better than 5? Watch my Scream 5 versus Scream 6 versus video and you'll get my answer. I've done a versus video of that, so if you've not seen it, go watch it. It's an in-depth video. I don't know if you were aware or not that I did that video, but I have, and it's definitely worth a watch if you want to know my thoughts. Joshman says, Erica, I wanted to ask, do you have any updates regarding to your channel, and are you working on another versus video, and have you seen The Long Walk and the movie Fixed? Fixed I've not seen, Long Walk I've not seen. I want to see them both. In terms of videos, I haven't really got like my mind on like one that I want to do yet. Like, I'm writing the script for the Monkey video review, which is taking longer than I thought because it's going to be a bit more in-depth and objective. I've also got a three-way versus video, which two three-way versus videos, which I'm planning to do next. One's a horror, and another one is to do with an anime from my childhood. So, two three-way versus videos coming up after the Superman versus video. The Superman versus video just took a lot out of me, which is why my mind is just kind of a bit slow coming out of that video. So I will try to get back to it, but man, is it difficult, and I see you guys going crazy with the monkey right there. But yes, I am working on the monkey review, so that is coming. I'm writing the script, and when I'm ready with that, then I'll do it. Electrify says, have I seen K-Pop Demon Hunters? I've not, but I am going to watch it and review it, because it was commissioned by King of the Monsters 2021 on Patreon. He paid to commission the review, so I'm going to get that done. And then I'm going to have to watch 3 movies, anime movies, and write a script around that for my childhood movies. Then towards the end of this month, I'm gonna have to write watch three more movies and write a script for a horror versus video for next month. And in between, we'll see if I do any other types of videos, but I think it will be the Patreon videos in between, the ones that have been commissioned. Josiah, I will be doing the Fantastic Four versus video, but I can't say for certain though. But right now in my mind, I do want to make it, but I gotta see the movie again, and I think I'll just wait for it to come out on streaming or Disney Plus. To watch it again, because it's been a while and my thoughts on it are, I've already kind of forgotten about it, so I need to see it again in order to write my thoughts. The Superman versus video just took a long time, so that's why it took me a while to get to doing the Fantastic Four versus video, even though I was writing it as I was writing and editing my Superman versus video, but I just never finished it. Now, before we get onto the stories, I want to quickly make an announcement to you guys right here, something that I'm thinking of doing for the live streams going forward, so you're going to want to hear this. Something I'm thinking of doing is not doing a live stream every single week anymore. I'm thinking of doing it every other week. I want to try to alternate between them because I've been doing. I think I've done about 100 live streams now since I made the promise that I'll do them every week. The only time I did not do it every week is if I was really, really tired, like, work had gotten crazy or life had gotten crazy, or if I had gotten sick. Those are the only times I missed a live stream, but usually I've been doing them every single week. But I'm thinking of, instead of doing them every single week like I have been, I'm thinking for a bit. We'll see what it is. We'll see how it goes if this sticks. But I'm thinking of doing one live stream a week, and then the week after that, I'm thinking of doing still, you could call it a live stream, but it will be a live video call with my Discord members. So that way we have a nice mix. So I'm doing live streams like this where I speak to you guys via the chat section, and I chat to you this way, and we kind of speak through text and everything while I speak on camera live. But I'm thinking of on Discord, if I mix one of those in every week, it means that I get to see you guys and speak to you guys in person, and I get to make more time for my Discord members. And also, that's where we can fit in watch parties and stuff as well, so we can watch movies, we can watch shows together. And also, this way, I think I'll also put in an extra perk, because for those of you that don't know, the Discord perk is right here, this one. And just by doing this, you get to speak to me every week, well, every other week, or whenever I set up video chats and all that, and you can speak to each other with the community, get more info and updates from me. Like I said, I watched Demon Slayer Infinity Castle. I just posted my quick written review on Discord. So for things like that, I'm going to start doing more quick written reviews as well, and they will also go onto Discord. If you want to join in on that every other week, then by all means, all you got to do is go to Patreon and get the Discord perk, and plus you'll get all this extra stuff. Trailer reactions, early access to versus videos, my game show, because I do want to do more gaming videos, and my Let's Watch show. So you get all of that, plus Discord as well, Discord access to my private Discord server. And it'll be on Sunday, every Sunday. So I'm thinking of doing that, and also I can then also make like a separate perk where I say if you want to choose what movie we watch live together, if you want to pick, then if you go for that extra higher tier perk, you can pick and we can watch whatever movie you want. So that's what I'm thinking of doing. So yeah. Jess says, hey Eric, after the stream, can we have a group chat, but on Discord? Not after this stream, because it'll be about 2 a.m. in the morning by the time this stream is finished, so I don't think I'll be able to have a voice call. But next week we can, because I just said, I don't know if you heard, Jess, I just said instead of doing a live stream like this every week, I'll do it every other week. And the other weeks, what I'll do is a live Discord video call. So 1 week live stream on YouTube, the other week it will be live video call on Discord. So that's what I'll be doing every week, alternating between the two. So that way I get to speak to you guys through this kind of live streams, and I also get to speak to you guys live on video calls as well, and you guys can talk back to me as well. So that's what I'm planning on doing. Saeed says, so now, is it going to change the live stream? And wow, there's some questions coming in here. Hang on, let me start going through these questions, then we can get to the stories that we'll talk about. Now, Jess says, no, I've already read that. Big Bash says, I like the sound of it, Eric. Khan says, that's great. Jess, that's great. Jess says, but on Discord, yes, on Discord, the video calls will be. Big Bash says, how much money would this perk be? I've not decided yet. Well, I've not decided yet. We'll find out, and then I'll let you guys know. And heck, if you want to watch, if you want to keep doing movie like recommendations that we all get to sit and watch, then you can through this. So it'll be very interesting. Khan says, so we're only going to have a live stream once per 2 weeks. Yes, Khan, that's what I'm thinking of doing. We'll see how long I do that. So I've not set it in stone yet, but I'm gonna give it a go, because doing live streams every week, I feel like I want to talk back to you guys as well. I want you guys all to be able to chat with me. So that's how I'll be doing it. Because we have done many chats together already on Discord. So this way I think we can get, be even more engaged on Discord. And everyone who's a part of the Discord will feel like they get more value from it as well that way. Okay. Big Bass, I think this schedule allows for you to relax. Yes, it does, because sometimes it feels like I'm quite tired, or like I want to just rest, or I want to take it a bit more easy. But when you do live streams, especially for a couple hours like I do, it can get a bit tiring. So this way I still get to chat with you guys and engage with you guys, but it will be much more casual rather than a live stream where I'm the only one talking, if you guys know what I mean. So it'll be interesting. Goat says you should do a poll where we vote, should streams be on Saturday night or early Sunday like today? I'll do that next time. Right now I've already talked about one thing. I don't want to throw in another separate thing, so we'll just start off with this one. So enjoy today's live stream, because next week there won't be a live stream, but you can join us on Discord video calls, so we can all chat together in person live on Discord. And then eventually I'll start rolling in like watch parties where we can all watch movies together and stuff, and TV shows too. And then you guys can also recommend movies and TV shows that we can watch. So yeah, and like I said, it all goes towards supporting the channel as well. So the more of you that join, not only do we have a larger growing community of you know, all of us there, like a family community, but you also help in supporting the channel further as well. So it sounds like this is something that is fun. It's already fun chatting with you guys on Discord, but this will be further fun. Because we can make it more of a routine, just like the live streams are. Jess says, hey Eric, are you worried that the Russo brothers will screw up Avengers Doomsday after their recent failures they did with the other films? You mean like the other movie they made, The Electric State, and the ones before that? Yeah, I think they could screw it up, but we'll have to see. But I think it's just based on... We'll talk about Avengers Doomsday, don't worry, that's the first story we're going to talk about. So, yeah, with all that said, let's get ready for the stories. And boy, is it a doozy. We've got a lot of crazy things going on in Hollywood, which we'll talk about. Big Bash has said it right. Doomsday has had no real setup. Indeed it hasn't. Alright then, so, Avengers Doomsday. Now, we've just got news about Avengers Doomsday, and that news is this, that Avengers Doomsday wraps production with reshoots, rewrites, and more casting still ahead. Now, this article right here comes from the World of Real, if I'm saying that right. Now, I've come to find out that the World of Real are not a good publication. They tend to write some shit, basically. Let's put it that way. So you can't really trust them. Most of the time you can't trust them. But this title, I think, is actually something I agree with. Avengers Doomsday, it has been said that they've wrapped shooting now, that they're done shooting Avengers Doomsday. But the thing is, we know they haven't finished shooting yet, because as this article says in the headline, reshoots, rewrites, and more casting still ahead. Apparently, they haven't fully casted their movie yet. There's rumors that they're still trying to get more actors on board. So that means they haven't finished shooting yet, because they're still trying to get those deals done. And also, we know that they've been having troubles with the scripts, even to the point that they've had to delay the movie in terms of shooting it. They've had to then delay the release date. They then had to do, like, arrange reshoots for next year, which they're going to be doing reshoots next year, even though the movie comes out at the end of next year. And also, on top of that, they had to bring in another writer to come in to help write the script, because, you know, the script has just been that much of a mess. So when I'm looking at this and it says Avengers Doomsday has wrapped, it's like, yeah, but it's not really wrap shooting, because they're still going to be shooting a heck of a lot more next year. I wouldn't be surprised if they shoot more this year. So Doomsday wraps shooting, to me, doesn't mean anything, because it's clear they've not finished nothing. They're still going to go back in and reshoot more stuff. And interestingly, there was a tweet, which I've actually got it written here. Not a tweet, yeah, it was a tweet, but it was based on an interview from Alan Cumming, who played Nightcrawler in the X-Men movies. He was asked about the script, and he goes, "We eventually saw a script. It took a while, but we had a script." That's what he said. Let me repeat that. We eventually saw a script. It took a while, but we had a script. And apparently that was in an interview on YouTube. Now, here's my question. When he says it took a while, how long is a while? Because they were shooting that movie for months, and it was said that they did not have a full script pretty much throughout that whole shooting time. So if they did have a full script, he says we eventually saw a script, but he didn't say they had a full script. Plus, we know that a lot of these actors, and even Alan Cumming has said this himself, he said that he shot scenes with actors, or he shot scenes where there was no other actor there, and he had to pretend they were there, and then they're going to put those actors in there later on and stitch all the scenes together. So basically, how does he know? He knows he got part of a script because, the script is basically the scenes that he's in, but in most of the script, most of the stuff he shot, he doesn't even, the Russos don't give the actors a full script. So how does he know any of this? That's no proof that a script was written, because the Russo brothers, especially Marvel, they don't give their actors in these Avengers movies the full script unless they're like top billed people, like Chris Evans or Robert Downey Jr., for example. So it's like, he says that there was a script, but he only gets his own portion, doesn't he? Alan Cumming, he only gets his Nightcrawler bits to read, so he's not a reliable source to say, yep, there was a script. It's like, no, there wasn't. Like, if there was, he wouldn't know it. Let's put it that way. If there was a script, a full script, he wouldn't be getting it. So, yeah, he shot his stuff and then that was it. He went and left. It sounds like he liked it better than when he shot the second movie, which he really didn't like. So yeah, I think we shouldn't be surprised. I still think they didn't have a script, but they just went along with it anyway and just said, let's just keep shooting stuff, and then if it doesn't work in editing, we can reshoot some stuff later. So I don't know. Doomsday, to me, I'm not looking excited to it. I'm more curious to see just how well this movie can come together. Can it come together? Because the production of this sounds like a complete mess, and there are so many characters that they have to juggle in this. What would a mess on that scale look like? That's the thing I'm interested about, is like, what will this movie look like in the end? I care less about the actual movie because of the characters and the stories. I care more about, is this going to be a mess? Will it come together somehow? Like, what will it be? That's what I'm really curious about when it comes to this movie, is like, how will it come together? Will it work? I have no idea, but that to me is the most interesting part. Alexandria says, Eric, you can't convince everyone in the world that animation is for them. Everyone has their taste. It's not your job that no one has that kind of power. I don't like from other people in the comments. Okay, I don't know what that is referring to. Charleston says, I think the Russo brothers are only good when it comes to Marvel. You can tell the Electric State was them begging Marvel to let them make another movie. I don't think it was them begging Marvel to make them make another movie. It was just them thinking, let's make another Marvel movie, but with this other property, and somehow that will work. But their movies post Endgame have just not worked. They've not taken off. So, yeah. Jess says, guys, I'm about to say this. Man of Steel has way better CGI than Superman. That's another... It's funny how you guys are talking about completely separate stuff. Let's talk about strictly the story. This particular story. So, what do you guys think? Are you looking... Let me ask you guys this. Are you looking forward to this movie? Or like me, are you more interested in what this movie will just look like by the end? Because it sounds like it's just a complete mess in terms of production. And in terms of rewrites, in terms of the amount of actors they got to work with, and how actors are saying that they shot scenes without the other actor, but they're going to edit the scenes together to make it look like they were talking to other actors. So I'm curious, are you guys genuinely looking forward to this movie, or like me, are you more curious to see, can a movie like this, like, coherently come together in the end, or will it just be a mess? Because that's what I feel like. Electrifies is no wonder this movie cost $1 billion. I think it's going to cost even more, quite frankly, because they're going to go in to do reshoots, and they're going to have to do a heck of a lot. So yeah, and I also feel bad because there's going to be a lot of abused VFX artists. There's going to be a lot of them. Richard says, as usual, I'm cautiously optimistic, but definitely understand all of the concerns. Exactly. That's kind of what a lot of people are trying to be, is like cautiously optimistic, but they can see all the problems. Saeed says, I'm not looking forward to brand new day. We're not talking about brand new day right now. Joshman says, Eric, I will say that I think it will be a complete mess, and I do not think it's going to reach the level of Infinity War and Endgame, because in Infinity War, all the characters felt balanced and it worked. Yeah, because Infinity War actually took the time not only to introduce all these characters in and set up its story, but also the fact that it had all the Marvel movies from before that had done all the setup for it. So they were able to just bring those characters in, continue their pre-existing relationships, and it was able to say, okay, let's get the story going. So there's very little introduction time because all the characters were already introduced in the previous movies, but it did quickly establish their roles within the story. But Avengers Endgame continued that. But with Doomsday, it's like you can't just throw the characters in. You gotta introduce certain things. You gotta have these characters cross over again because none of them have crossed over post Endgame. You've also got to find a way to like introduce Doctor Doom because Fantastic Four sure as heck didn't do it. So they got to do all of these things, and it just seems like a mess. Kent says, I think it will be messier than Endgame. I don't think Endgame was messy, quite frankly. I thought that was very well constructed. Oh, Crazy Cat Lady has entered the chat. She goes, hi guys, I saw Final Destination Bloodline and just word for you, Panio. If no, you... okay, gives Doomsday a chance. Okay. Kent says, I think it will be... oh, I've already read that. Joshua says, Eric, even Endgame did the same thing. They balanced the characters and how it was going to turn out, and it was a satisfying conclusion. Yeah, exactly. They were all neat. They found a way to like have a structure with their universe and with their movies. But with Marvel right now, that's the problem. They have no structure, and they're trying to build Avengers Doomsday on top of a very flimsy structure. So Doomsday is like just putting on another piece at the top. That's not going to clean up all the pieces at the bottom. It's just going to make the whole building collapse. It's like a Jenga it's like a Jenga tower where you put the wrong piece, where you take where you take the pieces out of the bottom and you're putting the wrong pieces on the top, and it just all tumbles down. So yeah, they're not in a good place. They really aren't. This feels like Born Again on the larger scale of how Frankenstein it sounds. Yeah, indeed. Rohan says, look, I'm cautiously optimistic about this movie. I'm not saying it's going to be better than Avengers Endgame or Infinity War, but I am hoping for a great quality movie like Doomsday. I'm hoping for a great quality movie like Doomsday. When you say Doomsday, I don't know. Well, let's hope it's a great quality movie, because judging by the way things are going, this is not how great quality movies are made, what we're seeing right now. Kent says, Eric, do you think it will be as good as Avengers 1? I think... here's the thing, I like the first Avengers, but I don't love it like everyone else does. I gave it a 7 out of 10 in my Versus videos. If you check out my most recent thoughts of Avengers 1 are done with Zack Snyder's Justice League versus Avengers, so check that out if you want to know my most recent thoughts. But my thoughts on that movie is that it was a good movie, but I found it very simple and very basic. So Infinity War and Endgame were more up my alley. So was Civil War, Captain America Civil War. So I liked that better, personally. But will it be as good as Avengers 1? I think, but even from my perspective, probably not. Big Bass says, I remember you said Transformers 3 had better action than Avengers 1. Yeah, that's because I thought it did. And a lot of those robots felt like they were taken from Transformers 3. Like the whole city-wide disaster going on, that's what it felt like. We've got our first super chat of the day from Electrify, who's done a $5 super chat. Thank you very much for that, buddy. He says, Avengers Doomsday will feel like Brave New World on steroids. Ooh, that's interesting. I don't think it will be that bad. I think if it does fail, it will fail in a different way to Brave New World. Because Brave New World really had no story worth telling, quite frankly. It just felt like a filler story they just threw out there. It just didn't feel necessary. Charleston says, I think it'll be great, but maybe not as much as Infinity War and Endgame. And Big Bash says, I have no excitement for Doomsday. Syed says, bruh, I'm looking to the reboot, not gonna lie, but looks like they are screwing it up. Yeah, it does. Electrify says, my opinion. Yeah, that's fine, that is your opinion, but I don't know, I feel like we can speculate is all we can do right now. We'll have to wait and see if it really is as bad, and we'll see when it comes out if it is. But I don't know. I feel like we gotta wait and see, only time will tell. Garrett says, hey Eric, how would you feel if they nerfed the heck out of Doom? You mean like how they nerfed the heck out of Ultron in Avengers Age of Ultron? I don't think they'll nerf Doom, because I heard rumors that Thanos will be in it, and he will get killed by Doom. I also heard that Kang will probably be in it at the beginning, and will also get killed by Doom. And I'm assuming they're going to probably try to use that to say that Doom is such a huge threat. So, yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. Makoya says, is it just me, or am I more excited for the DCU? You don't need to pronounce my name if you find it too hard. Love your content, Eric. Oh, okay then, thanks. I was going to say, apologize if I pronounced it wrong, but you said I don't have to pronounce it. No, I'll always try. But yeah, in answer to your question, yeah, I think... Am I more excited? Yeah, the DCU does seem more exciting. Like, I think it's too much James Gunn. I want to see more directors go in there. But yeah, it does seem more exciting than what we get with Marvel right now, because Marvel were unsure about them, and really they're trying to just fix this mess that they put themselves in, because they did say that they're going to essentially reboot after this is over, but they're gonna recast Iron Man, recast Captain America, but they're gonna keep Chris Hemsworth as Thor, which is very weird. So yeah, Crazy Cat Lady, these are rumors. Keep that in mind. These are rumors. That's just some of the stuff that I heard, but it sounds plausible if they want to try to, you know, give a resolution to some of these sort of like plot threads that they left hanging. So that's what it would seem like. So yeah, Richard says RDJ is as amazing as he is an actor playing Doom still feels like a gimmick more than anything. It is a gimmick because they think that no one's going to come in and watch their movie, so put Iron Man in there and they'll come to watch it. And alright, people will go to watch it just because Robert Downey Jr. is in it, but that doesn't stop what they did from being cheap. It's a very cheap and desperate tactic. That's a very important part. It's desperate. Fireboy says, sorry I'm late. No problem, buddy. And Billy also joined in here as well. So, hi, Billy. I'm glad you're here at the stream. So, yeah. They've finished shooting, but they've not finished shooting. They're going to keep doing a lot more. So, yeah. That's the thing right now. So, yeah, Marvel is in a predicament. Fireboy says, sorry I'm late, and I like how you guys have all jumped in, that's good. Billy says, I've been working so many extra hours, 4 of them monthly, just to pay you on Patreon. Oh, 4 hours just to pay me on Patreon. Oh, that's so nice of you, Billy. I really appreciate the support. All of you guys, I appreciate all the support. Thank you very much for that. Fireboys, how you doing, Eric? I'm doing good, bud. I really am. And I'm doing especially extra good now that you guys have joined. And just because a few of you have joined, I'll quickly say, I said this earlier, before you guys were here. I said that what I'm thinking of doing is doing live streams instead of once every single week. I'm thinking of doing live streams every other week. So one week it'll be a live stream. The second week it will be a Discord live video call for anyone who joins me on Discord. And then the week after that, it'll go back to being a live stream again, and then a Discord video call. So if anyone wants to be part of the Discord video calls where we can all chat live about stuff, we can also watch a movie together as a watch party, or watch a TV show together as a TV show watch party, or we can all buy pizza or whatever, or buy food and all watch a movie together. Or what we can also do is, if you want, you can commission, basically, if you want to watch, what you can choose what movie or show we watch. So I'll definitely open up those avenues, so those can be open. So we can basically do that on the Discord live call. That's what I'll try to do. So yeah, if you guys are interested, be sure to head on over to my Patreon and join my private Discord server, and you can be involved with all of that. We'll be doing it twice a month, basically, where we can watch a movie or TV show together. or just do a video call and just chat with each other if that's what you want to do. So be sure to join in on the Discord. There's many of you already there, and the more the merrier. Not only does it support the channel, but it's like having all of you guys in a certain communal place where we can all chat. So yeah, link to my Patreon is in the description below, so definitely head on over there, and if you do join, I'll be sure to drop your name in this live stream right below here. If any of you join right now, I'll drop your names here, and it will be there for the rest of not only the rest of the live stream, but it'll be documented this way, you know, for all the years to come. Whenever you go to this video, you'll always see your name down here, and you'll get a shout out too. So alright, so that's basically the story. Any other questions before we move on to the next story? Crazy Cat Lady says Goofy movie. I've actually never seen the Goofy movie, so yeah, I'll find out what the rate is to commission it, and then we can watch that if you want to. The Dark Lord says, all I have to say is this sounds about right for Marvel. That is very funny. This does sound par of the course for Marvel, doesn't it? Let's see. Khan says, I'm not sure about this project, Eric. I've been disappointed so many times before from Marvel. This won't be any different, and I'm honestly drained of all excitement from most MCU projects. Very much, yeah. I know how you feel. Big Bash says, Ben 10 Race Against Time. Oh, that movie was so bad. Ben 10 Race Against Time was so terrible that it actually put a lot of kids off of watching the Ben 10 animated series, even myself. That's how bad Ben 10 The Race Against Time was, that it put me and many kids off of the animated series. So yeah, but we did get back to watching it, but it took a bit. We needed some time away. Jess says, Eric, you are a DC fanboy and now hate Marvel. No, I've liked Marvel. I've just had issues with MCU Marvel. I mean, I love the Russo brothers movies. I love the first Iron Man. I like the first Thor. Love the first Captain America. All the Captain America movies are great because, again, the Russos took charge. And I love the Fox X-Men movies. I also love the Sony Spider-Man movies from Sam Raimi. So I grew up loving Marvel movies. I just don't like the style that Disney Marvel were doing. And it seems like a lot of people don't like that style now. It's something that a lot of people just think is patronizing, and it's just very kiddie and jokey and, you know, not serious enough to the point that you just can't take the film seriously. Yeah. McCoy says, did you hear about Grant Gustin wanting to return as the Flash? What do you think of him potentially returning? I heard about that. Hope it doesn't happen, and I don't think it will happen. So yeah, that would be ridiculous if it did happen. Joshua says, Eric, I'm still not excited for Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars because it just shows that Marvel has not learned their lesson about having a completed script before filming. I know, right? They've realized that people are calling them out on the fact that they make these movies without complete scripts. And what did they do with that Ultimate movie that is meant to bring people back? They shoot it without a complete script. So it's like, you just can't help them at this point. They're just too stupid, is what it is. Electrify says, Marvel, keep shooting and we'll fix it in post. Yeah, but we've learned that Marvel can't fix anything in post. So they better take that, take that and shove it somewhere. Big Bash says, basic writing, how is it something they still cannot grasp? Yeah, I know. Again, that's what James Gunn said. We're not going to start anything without a complete script. But even before James Gunn, even Matt Reeves, who did Batman, even he didn't start without a complete script. The same with his second Batman movie. It took him a while to write it, but he did not start without a complete script. So I don't know why this is such a revolutionary thought for Hollywood. But get your scripts in order before you put them into production. Not only will it save you a bunch of money in the end because you don't have to spend so much on reshoots and everything, but you'll also have a movie that in the end will be much more structurally sound, as opposed to these current ones where you can see the cracks all over the place. Saeed says, I'm looking forward to Born Again Season 2 and Beyond the Spider-Verse than Doomsday. Okay, yeah. Born Again Season 2 is coming in a few months. Well, March, April next year. Something like that. Makoya says, who do you think should direct the DCU Batman movies? I honestly don't know, but it can't be a nobody. They gotta get someone big to come in and direct the next Batman movies. Someone who's got like a huge eye for visuals and just really loves practical effects. Someone who's like a really great filmmaker. Someone who's got a very good style when it comes to like, putting, setting movies in the dark and everything. They got to get someone who knows their shit, and they can't. The movie's got to feel really special, basically, because Matt Reeves made the Batman so special, and he made the Penguin so special. He's even making the Batman Part 2 so special. Like, you just feel like it's gonna be special. But I feel like with James Gunn, he can't get a lower level director. He's got to get someone real good. But I did hear recently that Andy Muschietti might not be directing the Batman the Brave and the Bold. He directed It, but he also directed The Flash. So that's good that I hope he's not coming back, because I don't think he's up for the job. Billy says, that's literally the reason I still haven't cut off and divorced from the MCU completely. Sam Raimi for DCU Batman films. That's interesting. It'd be interesting. I wouldn't be completely against that, but he has to know. Well, he did do good comedy in the Spider-Man movies when he did them, so yeah, I think he could. And plus, if you watch Darkman, that movie practically felt like it was directed by Tim Burton. So yeah, I think he could. Billy says, "Oh, I meant the Young Avengers. I'm still hoping to see them." Okay. One of the guys who made the Raid movies. Oh, him. Yeah, he's actually very good as well, but I don't know if he's going to be good for something like Batman, but I wouldn't be against it. That sounds interesting. Goat says, Christopher Nolan. No, he's done. That's very funny, though, Goat. Alright, so let's move on to the next story. The next story is, again, a Marvel MCU one. Oh, here we go. Marvel just greenlit Daredevil Born Again Season 3 way before Season 2. Now, there's a lot of articles coming out about this saying Marvel have greenlit Daredevil Born Again Season 3. And they're describing it... The way they're describing it is as if the show is just a piece of content. They should be describing it as Marvel execs are really impressed with Daredevil Born Again Season 2, that they've greenlit Season 3. If that is a headline that you had... If that was the headline going around, we'd be more excited. But the way they're saying this, Marvel just greenlit Daredevil Born Again Season 3 way before Season 2, it makes it sound like it's just a piece of content, like they don't care. You don't see the Penguin Season 2 getting greenlit like this, do you? Because Matt Reeves has said that he's not going to be making it, none of them want to make it unless they can make it as good as the first season, and if they can also like have a good story to tell. If there is a good story to tell, they'll do it. If there isn't, then they won't. That's what they basically said. But with Marvel, they're just greenlighting more and more of these, even though Season 1 was complete ass, in my opinion. So, yeah, this is... Billy said it right. She says, I can almost hear the groan from the person who wrote the headline. Haha, yeah, indeed. It sounds like, yeah, you're right, isn't it? Marvel just greenlit Daredevil Born Again Season 3 way before Season 2. It does just sound like that, doesn't it? That he's just, like, groaning it out. Literally, the first and last 2 episodes are the best, so disappointed. Yeah, I think the opening of the first episode was good, but even though it had issues with CGI, smoke and everything, and it was just for bad CGI. But the final... But yeah, everything else in that episode, aside from the opening, I thought was nothing special. But the final episode I thought was actually better. You can watch my thoughts on Daredevil Born Again, not only in my Versus video, but in my Patreon. I've got my reaction to every single episode, and my review to every single episode when I initially saw it. And yeah, I was not impressed. We got another $5 donation from Electrify. Thank you very much, bud. I really appreciate that. He says, I couldn't even finish Season 1 of Born Again because it was so boring and slow that I stopped watching it. That's what I found as well. I also found it to be very slow. Also, my mum and dad, they've seen all 3 seasons of Daredevil. They love the show as well. And my dad asked, how was it? And I says, it wasn't good. I said it wasn't good. It was nothing special. And I says, don't bother watching it. That's the word of mouth going around for Daredevil. And a huge fan like me said to my dad, don't bother watching it. And he's watched a lot of these Disney Marvel shows too. That's why he asked, because they find it disappointing as well. So, yeah. Daredevil Born Again made me so sad because the Netflix Daredevil show is so goated, says Makoya. Yeah, I agree completely. Jess says Kingpin was just boring in Born Again because all he was doing was just his job as mayor and only killed 2 people and felt useless. Not only that, but it's just that it took him so long. It took the Kingpin so long to accomplish his goals. And I think he could have accomplished his goals much quicker than he actually did. It took him so many episodes to do stuff. He kept secrets from Vanessa. There was just all of this, like, he was going at such a snail's pace when really he could have got everything he wanted to do. He could have got it done in like the first episode after he was elected. I've said this in the Versus video. I've said this on my Let's Watch over on Patreon. I've said all he had to do after he was elected was say, as my first act as mayor, I am going to ban all vigilantes. Done. But instead he did that in the final episode of the season, and that was like 8 episodes later. Such a disappointment. Complete disappointment. Joshman says, Eric, I really do not care to see Daredevil Born Again. I am so burned out by Marvel nowadays, and that is why I'm not excited for Marvel Zombies. I think they will also screw it up. Yeah, got Marvel Zombies, that kind of came and went in terms of like the trailer and the marketing. Trailer came out and I was like, yeah, cool, they got some R-rated stuff, but it's animation, so it's not ballsy. It's just something they're doing just to do it, to say, look what we're doing, but there's no risk taking behind any of it. There's no skin off their nose if people watch this or don't. So, you know, it's hardly a risk. So, yeah, I don't really care about it either, but I don't know, who knows, maybe if you guys want to see it live, we can watch it live on Discord, maybe. Saeed says, I'm looking more forward to Lanterns. Something is telling me it will be epic. The first pick came out, gave me Area 51 vibe. Yeah, there's some really good people behind the Lanterns show, and it's going to be rated R. That's a risk. That is a risk right there. And the rumor is that Green Lantern might be in that Man of Tomorrow movie that James Gunn is making. So there's a lot more potential going on at DC right now because it feels like they've got better management going. But also, they've got better creatives involved that are like behind the Green Lantern show. So yeah, I'm looking very forward to seeing what they do. Jess says, after Kingpin was defeated by Kate Bishop and his mother, then got scared by Echo and her granny, Kingpin is now lame. Oswald is the true winner and a better version of Kingpin. Yeah, he is far better. Kingpin, Marvel, Disney Marvel, they screwed him up in the Hawkeye show, and they screwed him up in Echo, and honestly, I think they kind of screwed him up here too. He's so pathetic. As a massive Marvel fan, I'm not excited for Marvel Zombies, says Goat. Yeah. The animation also really doesn't interest me either. I think they need a more appealing animation style. Electrify says, most of the episodes felt like filler until the last 2 episodes. That's the textbook of Disney Marvel shows. Exactly. I couldn't agree more. Muse is so boring as a villain. He's not that interesting as the real threat like Bullseye. Yeah, exactly. Khan says, did you finally watch Invincible Season 3? I did. Really good. It was really good. Particularly was it the last episode or 2? Or was it the last 1 episode? Yeah, that was excellent, that was crazy, that was. McCoy says, what happened with Shang-Chi? I think I heard something about Simu Liu wanting to go to DC since Marvel haven't done anything with him in nearly 5 years. No, James Gunn basically said Man of Tomorrow was they were going to start shooting it soon. And someone said to him, like, the turnaround was so quick, wow. And then Simu Liu like reposted that tweet and quoted it saying, you don't say, or something like that. Basically meaning it's taken 5 years and he's still not got a sequel to Shang-Chi yet. But Superman has already got another movie coming up. So, yeah, that says a lot right there. Jess says, hey Eric, do you like Peacemaker Season 2? I've not seen Peacemaker Season 2 yet, because I waited for Peacemaker Season 1 to release all its episodes, then I watched it and I binge watched it, and it was such a great binge watch. So I'm waiting for Peacemaker Season 2 episodes to all come out, then I'll try to binge watch it. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm holding out. The Dark Lord says, at this point, it might have been better if Born Again cut the original show from canon, so we could have considered Vincent Fisk perfect in the Netflix verse. I think that would have also still been a bad idea, because originally they were going to do that, but the actors said to them that this is not working, and that was one of the reasons they went back. Kent says, Eric, do you think MCU Phase 4 and 5 will be better if Marvel just released the movie as the director's cut and do not do some reshoots? I don't know, because I feel like even if they were better than what we had, given the rocky foundation they were being built upon, and how they were still not having complete scripts and everything, I still think they would have been a mess, quite frankly. And the movies themselves, they don't look like they were made particularly well. Even if they were given more time with the CGI and stuff, you could just tell how much green screens and stuff they were using, and how they were incorrectly using the volume. McCoy says, I'm so excited for Invincible Season 4, I can't wait to see that. Yeah, I can't wait either. Also, Gen V Season 2 has come out, 3 episodes, to start off with. I'm also waiting again for that to come out fully, so I can get to watching it. A lot of shows coming out, isn't there? And I just recently finished Demon Slayer. There's a lot to watch. Again, I did a brief review of Demon Slayer on my Discord, which you can check out if you pop over there. Electrify says they should bring the people from Season 3 of Netflix's Daredevil. Common sense. Yeah, that's what I said they should have done, but Marvel don't have common sense. Or they don't want to have the success of it go over to a certain people, so they're like, no, we're hiring our own people instead. But they've just kind of shit the bed, so yeah, you hire your people. They've clearly got a reputation, not a good one. Shapink is here, says, let's be serious for now. Most of the X-Men and probably Fantastic Four is going to die, right? I doubt they're going to die. Honestly, I don't think anyone would believe it if they did. But they're going to kill off a lot of the new... This is what I think they're going to do. I think the post-Endgame heroes that Marvel brought in that have not taken off, and none of them have taken off, I think they're going to try to kill as many of them as possible so they can get back to having the core Avengers. That's what I think is going to happen. Makoya says, Eric, have you seen Superman and Lois? If you have, what did you think about it? No, I've not seen it. From what it sounded like, it had a lot of CW drama, particularly with Clark's kids. And I was just in a place where I was like, I'm done with CW drama, high school drama, romances, all that stuff in that CW style. I'm just done with it, and I don't want to see it again. So I didn't watch it because of that. So yeah, who knows? Maybe one day I will if I have nothing else to see, but let's face it, these days we've got too much to see, so I don't think I'll be watching it. I'll just stick with the movies at this point. Black Mask says, have you seen the new Doomsday news and upcoming Avengers Doomsday? I think I just talked about it on the previous story, the news that's coming for Doomsday. But if there's new news that I've not heard about, please do share it and I'll read it out. Gary Loke says, have you seen the Peacemaker dance intro for Season 2? No, I haven't. I'm trying to save it and watch it when I see the episode for the first time, when I binge it. I did hear that they changed the song, though, which is a shame, because I got used to the song in the first season's intro. So I don't like they're changing the song. I wish they would have kept it. But just did a new dance number. Movie King 3000 says, hey Eric, have you watched Bleach before? You're talking about the anime. I've heard of it, never watched it, no. Khan says, so Eric, have you finally seen Arcane Season 2? And what are your thoughts about the finale? Shit, I forgot all about Arcane Season 2. Yeah, I still got to see that, haven't I? No, I haven't yet. I've watched Invincible. I've watched Demon Slayer, the recent season. There's still a lot of movies, and no, Arcane is not one of them. I still got to watch that. Damn. How could I forget? So, yeah, clearly... So there's your answer. I haven't seen it yet. Joshua says, Eric, I really think Daredevil Season 2 and 3 are pretty much going to be worse than the first season. It's never going to be the Netflix series, and all I gotta say is, who cares and good riddance. I think it can be better, Seasons 2 and 3, than the first season, because that was a complete mishmash of mostly the old shit that they put in there, with some new stuff. And that's why I think that one's probably the bigger mess. And I don't think Seasons 2 and 3 will be worse than the first season because of that. But I do think Season 2 and 3 will still be a big disappointment. With false promises and everything, I think. Black Mask says, suits for Avengers Doomsday. There are some leaks about it. Oh, okay. There's a lot of these weird leaks coming out, isn't there? Which is interesting. But DC have actually tightened up their leaks. We still don't know who the villain is for the Batman Part 2. We don't know if a Robin's going to be in it. We don't know what the story's about. It's the DC on both Matt Reeves' side and James Gunn's side. They're doing a very good job of like plugging up the leaks on their ship, whereas Marvel is like made of leaks. So that's interesting. Electrify says Disney should sell Marvel, but that ain't going to happen. Yeah. I don't think they can fix it, honestly. I think they've made too much of a mess with it, but we'll see what happens. Big Bash says, we need another attempt at Robin. It's been way too long. I think so too, but at the same time, I think James Gunn's going to do one. I don't know if Matt Reeves will do one, but here's hoping they do a good job with it. Oh, my mom threw a fit when Robin didn't appear in the Batman. Did she really? I mean, the Batman was the first movie, year 2. There's no way Robin was going to be in that. I'm surprised that she had a fit over that. Wow, that's interesting, that. Billy says, according to her, the first Robin was her first crush as a child, and weirdly enough, Nightwing is mine. Okay, fair enough. But still, I think we all know in the first Batman movie, you're never going to get a Robin in there. Unless, of course, the Batman has already been around for a while. Like James Gunn's version is called Batman the Brave and the Bold. There is going to be a Robin in there. So, yeah, that'll be interesting. Okay, still don't know how to feel about that. Okay, right, let's move on to the next story then. Because I think this is going to be a disappointment. I think Daredevil season 3, the fact that they've already greenlit it, and the headline is not Marvel just greenlit Daredevil season 3 because Disney executives or Marvel executives were so impressed with Daredevil Born Again season 2. The fact that they didn't do that, say something like that, which would have been very important, would have been like showed confidence that they are actually impressed with the quality of it. That's why they greenlit another one. Instead, they just said it like a piece of content. They just greenlit Daredevil season 3 way before season 2. Ugh. So disappointing. I really wish that they had more care for it rather than just greenlight it just for more content. I don't like that. Romance cover. I don't know. I never really thought of it that way, Billy, but I guess I could somewhat see that, yeah. Connor is here, says, happy to be back. I'm also preparing to watch and rewatch some movies. I'm also excited for Christmas in September, so I might rewatch Home Alone. Oh, cool. Yeah, Home Alone's a great classic for many of us. Maybe this Christmas, or even this Halloween, I'll probably do a watch party on Discord that we can all do. Interesting. Alright, just came up with the idea now, bizarrely. Alright, next story. Whew, we got some information about Warner Brothers. Now, if you take a look here, we've got Warner Brothers and Paramount. Now, Skydance is another studio that has bought out Paramount. They've bought Paramount, and now the people that have bought Paramount, Skydance, they're looking to put in an offer for Warner Brothers, because David Zaslav, who owns Warner Brothers, he has been trying to sell the company ever since he came on and bought it. Because when he does that, he'll make a shit ton of money when he does. So that's something that he wants to do. And Paramount, looks like the new buyers who bought out Paramount, Skydance, they're interested in putting in an offer for Warner Brothers over here. But we just recently heard, now that's one thing, that they want to do that. And honestly, if they do that, they'll have a crap ton of IP. They'll have the Harry Potter stuff, they'll have the DC stuff, they'll have Mortal Kombat, they'll have the Warner Brothers video game division. They should have Cartoon Network. They'll basically have tons and tons of stuff. Like an insane amount of stuff. But also, it turns out that Netflix also are interested now in putting in a bid or an offer for Warner Brothers. So, Paramount owning Warner Brothers is one thing. I don't think the people running it are particularly good, so I think that's actually not good about what Paramount owning it or Skydance owning Warner Brothers. But it does mean that, they're going to combine Paramount and Warner Brothers. They'll be combined as studios. But then Netflix putting a bid in, that's actually much more interesting because it means, as this title says, after Paramount's interest, Netflix looks to buy Warner Brothers in a move that would change the industry forever. That means that when these movies come out, they're most likely going to be made for streaming. They're not going to be made for theaters and stuff, which would actually be kind of sad. Because, for example, the whole point of what James Gunn is trying to do is make a successful DC universe and everything, but could you imagine if it becomes like a universe for Netflix or something like that? Or if it becomes a universe but we never get to see any of those movies in theaters, like Matt Reeves' Batman movies no longer in theaters. That would be very sad if that was to happen. This whole thing that people say of how streaming is taking over and theaters might die, I think they definitely will if you take a franchise like Warner Brothers franchises, if you take them away and just put them all on streaming. I think that is a huge player. That means that it'll be another less reason for people to go to theaters. Because remember, Warner Brothers also do a lot of horror movies. And imagine all of them going over to Netflix as well. Like, that would be something, that would be. Is it the end of the world? No. It'll be unfortunate, but not the end of the world. Because they're just movies at the end of the day. And we'll have fun watching them at home. It'll be kind of cool, but it will be a shame that we won't have them in, like, Dolby Atmos and things. So hopefully streaming can try to get better with that. And I don't think they'll be releasing 4K Blu-rays, which will be very sad if that's something that they don't do. So yeah, kind of a shame. I honestly wish that Netflix don't win this, because that would not be fun. I think I would much prefer if it was Paramount that would have them, because at least they'll stick to theatrical releases. But trying to go over to Netflix, that is not particularly good, I don't think. And I wonder what Netflix would do to the budgets. Would they bring them down or what? There's just something magical about watching a great movie in theaters, says McCoy. Something streaming can never replicate. Yeah, I agree. Connor says, do you think the MCU could possibly make an offer to buy Warner Brothers? No. I'll tell you why. Disney, they've lost shit tons of money. You gotta remember, not only are the movies what makes them money, but their theme parks are not doing well. That's where they make a lot of their money. Also, they're not doing good with merchandise sales. When you look at all the post-Endgame, Marvel have got no characters that kids are fans of now. They're not lining up to get Namor toys, or Fantastic Four toys, or Shuri toys, or Scarlet Witch toys anymore, or anything. They used to always go for Iron Man, Thor, Hulk. Those are the kind of toys that they would normally go for, but but not anymore. So they've lost so many revenue avenues, and that's just Marvel. And you're seeing all the flops, both on streaming for Marvel and in the theaters for Marvel. But also on top of that, we also have Lucasfilm and how Star Wars is a dying brand, all because of all because of Disney, who owns Marvel and Lucasfilm. And we see how they are not doing particularly good either. So Disney is bleeding money from every angle right now. Even Disney and Pixar are not doing as good as they need to do. So they are struggling. They really, really are struggling. And the last thing they want to do need to do is spend money to buy another bunch of IPs when they're struggling with the ones they already have. So their best interest right now is to fix the ones they have, not buy others that they can also find ways to just screw up. So that's what I think. I think the situation is that Disney, they should not want to buy it, because their previous purchase of Fox, they still haven't fully benefited from that yet. We just recently got the Fantastic Four. Look at that movie. Didn't really make the money they needed. And it didn't really cast the wide net of people that it needed either. And now also take a look at the fact that their investment in Fox has not paid off. That's the Fantastic Four fail. Now we've got to look at the X-Men. Will that do good, or will that also fail? So they've done bad with the purchases they've already made. The last thing they want to do is do more purchases. I don't think they even have the money to do so right now, from what I'm hearing. So yeah. Billy says, honestly, Netflix would not be that bad. They are known to give at least enough creative liberty to their creators. Wonder how it will be, though. Goat says, Eric, Netflix will buy Warner Brothers, bring back Snyder, and then the Snyderverse will be restored. No, they won't. Quite frankly, I'm done with the Snyderverse now, too. There was a time I was interested, but it's just taken too long. Also, the actors are not interested. You know, Ben Affleck, we know he doesn't want to go back to the role. Henry Cavill, I'm sure he would, but I think it's too late now. Especially because if he's got no Batman, there's no DC universe there. Ezra Miller, I think everyone just wants to forget about him, so you can't bring him back. We've also got Cyborg, Ray Fisher, and, you know, his history with the studio. I don't think anyone will want to hire him for that. And then we've also got Jason Momoa, and Jason Momoa, I think he's cool, but I think he likes being Lobo now, so I think he probably would leave Aquaman behind. And then we got Gal Gadot, who I cannot stand based on just, I think she's a horrible person, and you all know why, because of the whole Palestine-Israel thing. The nonsense she says, the propaganda, it's like, she's becoming less popular. People can't stand her anymore. So, like, the people actually voted for her to get out of this film festival that happened recently, and she didn't show up, which is good. So, a lot of people are just kind of, I think they're kind of, like, just past that. So, yeah, it is sad we never got it. But at the same time, I can see why I think we should just move on at this point. It's taken so many years. Those actors have aged up so much. And if you look at Ben Affleck, I don't think he's going to want to tone up and get that kind of muscle mass that he got for the role before. So, yeah. Oh, Goat says it was a joke. I thought you actually meant it, Goat. I thought you actually wanted that. Because there are people that actually do still want that. Like, do you know people are actually saying if Netflix buy it back that they actually will do the Snyderverse? And they're not joking like Goat, they mean it. So, yeah. Electrify says, I don't like the Warner Brothers bid because it risks the creative leadership and Warner Brothers' new balance of originals and IP. Potentially it could, yeah. Which is a shame, because especially because Netflix have so many shows, will they want as many movies? Or will they say do a Batman series instead of a Batman movie? It's all up in the air, isn't it? McCoy says, the only thing I miss about the DCEU is the Shazam movies and Aquaman. I agree. Although I didn't like Aquaman 2, and I thought Shazam 2 was good, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't anywhere near as good as the first movie. And I love the first Aquaman, but you could tell that the movie was struggling behind the scenes, which is sad to see. Henry Cavill as DCU Batman, no way. Although I heard rumours that people are guessing that for the DCU, James Gunn might hire Jake Gyllenhaal to play Batman, because he said that the person that's going to play Batman, he said, is someone who's already expressed interest in playing Batman. And people have nailed it down, and they said, well, that's Jake Gyllenhaal who said that he would, if the DCU called him. So it might be Jake Gyllenhaal, who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Billy says, I thought Aquaman was good only for Orm. Only for Orm, yeah. I don't think it was only for Orm. I thought that Jason Momoa was very good as Aquaman. I love the world building as well. Atlantis, that's the best version of Atlantis I've ever seen in any media format. So, I think that was amazing. Goat says, what about Jensen Ackles? I don't want Jensen Ackles. He's too much of a TV actor. Bringing him in for Batman is not good. So I would say no to that. A big no. But if you did do, for example, like Jake Gyllenhaal, he is a movie actor. And you see, he's got the presence of a movie actor, and he's done some really serious roles. Just watch Nightcrawler. Very good actor. So I'm like, yeah, if they got him, I'm sure he could do it, but they got to do him up to make him look the part. But yeah. Goat says, what's wrong with being a TV actor? What's wrong with it is that there's a difference between TV and movies. Movies have a different vibe to them. And when it comes to playing a character as like Batman, who's supposed to be very cinematic, you need an actor that is more known for movies and has that cinematic quality. As soon as they show up on screen, they look cinematic, like someone that you've seen on a big epic movie. And with Jensen Ackles, from his Supernatural days to his Smallville days to even his The Boys days, we're used to seeing him a lot on TV. And you to get the Batman feel, you need an actor who's got the scale and look to them of like a big epic movie, not a big TV series. It's just not good enough. So Robert Pattinson, for example, is a definition of a movie actor, someone who's been in a lot of movies, and he has that gravitas to him as a movie actor. The same with Henry Cavill when he was Superman, and the same with Christian Bale and even Michael Keaton. Like, all these people that played these iconic characters, there's a movie quality to them. But with Jensen Ackles, there's too much of a TV quality to him. So I would much rather have a movie quality actor, and I would rather take Jake Gyllenhaal over Jensen Ackles, that is for sure. Crazy Cat Lady says, have you watched Peacemaker Season 2 yet? No, I actually haven't seen it yet, because I'm actually waiting to binge watch it, because that's what I did with Season 1. So I'm waiting for all the episodes to release, then I'll binge watch it at my own leisure. That's what I'm planning to do. King of the Monsters says, hey Eric, have you seen District 9? Yes, I did, back in the day when it came out. Really good movie. Very disturbing as well, I found it to be. But yeah, very good movie. Billy says, can you put it into words what that is that a lot of TV actors lack from TV? I feel like I only get a slight vibe of it. It's just a simple feeling, is that you can tell when you're watching a Batman that's meant for like a small screen and a Batman that's meant for the big screen. And I feel like certain actors have that quality where they can ride both lines. They can go beyond, their face fits movies and TV. But I feel like some actors, they're just too much in TV and some are too much in movies. And honestly, I feel like Jensen Ackles, his face is too much in the TV side of things. So when I see him, it feels small scale when you see an actor like him on a big screen. It feels surprisingly small. So yeah, that's what I mean. It's hard to verbalize it, but there's a difference between TV actors that have shown a lot on TV and a lot in movies. And although a lot more movie actors are becoming TV actors now too and riding both lines, I still think that movie actors, there's a certain cinematic quality to them. And that's why you need someone who's been in movies more than has been in TV. Joshman says, Eric, I don't know how I feel about Netflix buying Warner Brothers, because not every movie should be on streaming. There are certain movies that should go to theaters. I agree, so let's hope Netflix allows that to happen. But I don't know, we'll have to see. McCoya says, I genuinely think Spider-Man No Way Home would have been significantly better if the first two MCU Spider-Man movies were better. Yeah, it would have been. Also, if it had just a more grand script, and if they didn't take shortcuts to shoot it during COVID. They make, like, Tom Holland made excuses recently saying that that the reason the movie couldn't look as best is because it was shot during COVID. But Matt Reeves' Batman was shot during COVID. Like, excuse me. But Matt Reeves' Batman was shot during COVID. Like, the whole movie was shot, like 80% of the movie was shot during COVID. And you can't even tell when you watch the film. So I don't buy Tom Holland's excuse right there. It just seems... it seems like an excuse is exactly what it seems like, and I don't buy it. In the words of my favorite cartoon, one of my favorite cartoon characters on Cartoon Network, that fish is 5 days old, and I ain't buying it. Billy says, oh my god, that reminds me of Christopher Reeves. Looks so cutesy inside his little suit to prevent getting sick. Shapink says, I forgot that Jensen Ackles played Red Hood in Under the Red Hood. Yeah, he did. Yeah, I remember that. His voice and delivery was so good that I didn't even think it was him. Yeah, me neither. I was surprised it was him. It didn't sound anything like him either. So yeah, I thought he was very good in that. What cartoon is that from? Said 10 Rex. It was from Kids Next Door. Number 2 said that. In the detective episode when he's wondering who killed the rainbow monkey. Yeah, great show. I actually watched some episodes of it about a month ago while I was eating my dinner. It was a really funny show. Fireboy says thoughts on Brandon Skelner, whatever his second name was, as Batman. Not him. First of all, he doesn't look like the kind of actor that can play it to me. And also, he's gotten himself involved in the whole Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively controversy. And even if he was an unfortunate person that Blake Lively roped in to this situation and Ryan Reynolds roped into the situation, his image has just been tainted. I don't want to see him as a Batman at all. I really don't. I'd say definitely get Jake Gyllenhaal over him. But yeah, that guy, I don't think he's a great actor either from what I've seen. I saw him in a movie recently. It was called, was it The Drop or something? I can't remember the name of it now. I think it was The Drop. He's fine, but he's not a leading man. I don't see him as that, and I certainly don't see him as Batman. Electrify's done another $5 donation. Thank you very much for that, bud. I appreciate that. He says, I hope Warner Brothers refuses, but their shareholders would want one of the buyouts to happen. It's not really the shareholders, it's just David Zaslav. If he wants it paid and bought out, and that's the whole reason he got it, and if he had to whip it into shape and then sell it. That's what he tried to do. And if he does that, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. I think he just wants to get it off his hands and just get paid. So if Netflix give a big offer enough, he'll do it. Hui Tumo says, no, if Netflix buys Warner Brothers, the Snyder cultists will never shut up about restoring the Snyderverse. They'll get the message eventually, I think. Big Bash says, Eric, what Batman do you like more, Kevin Conroy or Christian Bale? Kevin Conroy. But I love Christian Bale's Batman too. They're very, very different. It's like saying Mark Hamill or Heath Ledger. Both excellent in their own individual formats. One's animated, the other is live action. Both do an amazing job in their own formats. Joshman says, Eric, what would be funny if people can commission you to watch My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, and I know you would find it really annoying, and that would be hilarious. Yeah, if people commission that on Discord, then I guess we would do it. I'd actually laugh if someone actually did that. Eric, you forgot about the super chat. Oh, did I? No, I did. I answered it. The Electrify one, because I hope Warner Brothers refuses, but their shareholders would want one of the buyouts to happen. Yeah, I've already answered that. Ken says, which Batman actor did the best actor? I think they all did a really good job, but I'll take Christian Bale. He had 3 movies, which is the most out of all of those Batmans, and I thought he did a great job. Electrify, I agree. I'd rather have another company buy out Warner Brothers as well. McCoy says, one thing I don't like about Jake or Jensen as Batman is that they're both significantly older than David Corenswet. I'd say get some really talented actor who's closer to David in age. The perfect one for that would be Robert Pattinson, because they are both very similar in age. But I'm glad Robert Pattinson's not being in that, because I think Matt Reeves is too good for James Gunn's universe. But thing is, to your point that you think they should be similar ages, James Gunn would disagree, because James Gunn, he said that this Batman is going to have a Bat family, like Robin, for example. I think Nightwing was already going to be in there too. So that means he has to be older by that metric. So yeah, I think Batman is definitely going to be older in James Gunn's universe than Superman for that reason. So Jake Gyllenhaal does fit the bill for that, I think. Carl Urban as Batman. Nah, I wouldn't think so. I think he is probably too old. He looks it, at least. Billy says, I see many mixed reactions on that possibility. Yep. Jess says, hey Eric, what are your thoughts on the first Doctor Strange movie? I thought it was fine. I think I gave it a low 7 or something. So, or was it a high 6 or a low 7? I think it was a low 7 I gave it. Yeah, it was fine. I thought it could have... I didn't like the jokes it was doing. It did too many of them again, and the jokes were the issue. I thought it could go further, and I also thought the villain was weak, which is bizarre despite the fact that they had a good actor playing the villain. He was so weak. But I thought the visuals were far better than the story, basically. You know, they tried to go Inception on steroids, didn't they? Ken says, Eric, do you play Valorant? No, I don't think I do, no. Joshman says, Eric, what would be even more hilarious if people force you and convince you to watch Teletubbies and the garbage Max and Ruby. That would be hilarious if people commission you to watch both of them. Well, Josh, man, if you want to commission me all those, I will. And by the way, when I was a kid, I loved Teletubbies. When I was a very, very little kid, like when I was about 3 or 4, I used to love Teletubbies. Yeah. Dark Lord says we are so off topic now. We are. So yeah, let's go to the Q&A session. Oh, what's going on there? Like Netflix took over the stream for a second. Yeah. Alright, so any questions you have, be sure to do it. And again, if you join my Patreon or become a YouTube member, I will write your names down right here. Electrify says, which company do you want to buy Warner Brothers instead of Paramount and Netflix? Probably Universal. I think they are the worst when it comes to copyright claims, so that would scare the shit out of me. I would hope that they wouldn't start putting insane copyright claims on Warner Brothers movies now. But they would probably be the better one to get the company. But I just wish Warner Brothers would stay as Warner Brothers, quite frankly. Gary Lake says, who would you prefer as Wonder Woman? Adria Arjona or Ana de Armas? Not Ana de Armas, because I thought she was an overrated actress. I thought she was very good, but I was like, why is they trying to make her an action hero? And after the flop, which was her ballerina movie, there is no way they're going to hire her for Wonder Woman now. I just don't see her as that character. Let's see, what was the other actress you mentioned? Where is it? Adria, okay. Oh, I think I've heard some people throwing her name around. I think she could. What is she going out with Jason Momoa? Is she? Or is that someone else? Yeah, she is going out with him. Well, if that's the case, and Jason Momoa is Lobo, I wouldn't be surprised if if Jason Momoa actually speaks to James Gunn and they cast her as Wonder Woman. But yeah, I'd rather have her as Wonder Woman. Ana de Armas, she just has no screen presence in terms of... She was very good in Knives Out, but I don't know why that translated to them trying to make her an action hero. I just don't get that. The Boyfriend movie where Chris Evans was like, I'm just the boyfriend, and she was like the kick-ass one. I was like, what the heck is going on here? Like, what happened that they tried to switch her up in her role like that? It makes no sense to me. Billy says, I would put Megan Fox as Wonder Woman just for the lols. Yeah, Megan Fox is not a good actress, so I'd say even for the lols, I wouldn't. Kent says, Eric, what anime do you watch? Well, when I was a kid, I watched Pokemon. I watched Zoids, which I loved Zoids. Loved Pokemon too. And I also really loved Yu-Gi-Oh! To this day, I still love Yu-Gi-Oh! That's my favorite TV show of all time. When I grew up, I also watched Death Note as well. As a kid, I was watching Beyblade on Cartoon Network. That was a great show. Yeah, there's a lot of anime. And also, I've been watching Demon Slayer as well. Like I said, I just watched Season 6 on Saturday. Finished watching Season 6. All the episodes of Season 6. And I binged them in like 2 or 3 days. I think it was 3 days. And then or was it 4 days? But then, straight after finishing watching the final episode, about an hour to hour and a half later, I went to the cinema to go watch the Infinity Castle movie. So yeah, that's some animes for you right there. Billy says, Ana de Armas had a chance of a great tearful performance when talking to Lena, her sister, in Ballerina, but instead she looks so forced in her emotions. I've seen plays at my college do better. I actually haven't seen Ballerina yet, but yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Big Bash says, Eric, what is the first movie you saw when you turned 18? The first movie I saw when I turned 18? Oh, I think it was The Raid 2. Yeah, it was The Raid 2. I went and I think I saw that in theatres when I literally just turned 18. Was it 18? I was 18 or was it 19? But The Raid is the one... No, when I was 17, I snuck in to watch... I shouldn't say I snuck in, but I basically tried to pass myself off as 18 at the age of 17 to go see the Evil Dead 2013 movie. So that was technically my first 18 movie when it wasn't 18, when I wasn't 18. But I was only about a month off from being 18, so that's why I tried to sell it to them. And yeah, I went in, I watched it, had an amazing time. So yeah, I'd say that one. I was a month off from 18, but that's as close as I can get, I think, to watching a movie in theaters that was 18. Ghost says, have you ever played Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2? If you did, who was your main? I played a bit of Plants vs. Zombies. Well, actually, I never really got into it. This was back on the iPod Touch days. But I played other games that were similar to Plants vs. Zombies, but they just weren't called Plants vs. Zombies. Oh, McCoy says, anyway, I'm going to head out. Bye, Eric. I had a great time in the stream. Keep up the great content. Thanks, buddy. I hope you enjoy the content to come. And definitely head on over to Discord if you want to join next week, because we're going to be doing live video calls there. And then we're going to, like I said, at some point do watch parties as well of movies and shows. So, yeah, hopefully I'll see you there, or I'll see you in the next stream, or I'll see you comment on one of my other videos. So take care, bud. Thanks for joining. Wow, Jake says, hey, I'm late, aren't I? Yeah, we're on the Q&A right now, hour and a half in. Pedro Pascal has been overexposed a lot more. He has been. Khan says, hey Eric, how would you feel about an R-rated Batman movie like live action one? That could be a lot of fun. It could be. So if Matt Reeves, for example, wanted to, given how well he did with the Penguin show, I think he could, and it would be cool to see an R-rated Batman movie. But you know studios are going to want to make them PG-13. That's probably the only good thing about Batman being made if Netflix had it, is that they could make it rated R if they wanted to. Matt Reeves would be allowed to, so that would be interesting, you know. We'll see what happens. Anyway, Jake, thanks for showing up to the stream. It's great to see you. Big Bash says, Eric, is there really a funny childhood story about... Is there a really funny childhood story about playing video games with your siblings that still makes you laugh to this day? A funny story. I mean, we just have a lot of fun when we used to play Mario Kart DS and the Call of Duty on DS, Call of Duty 4 and 5 on the Nintendo DS. We still do it to this day as well. When my sister comes over and visits, we do multiplayer on Mario Kart DS. So I have a lot of fun with that. I'm sure there are some funny moments, like when we managed to do a really good move in the Call of Duty game or a really good move in Mario Kart. I think, yeah, a funny memory I have with Mario Kart DS was actually a few months ago, I think, when somehow I just at the last second, as you do with Mario Kart, even when someone is in first place, you just somehow manage to ruin everything for them, and you just pass them right at the last second, and you win at first place, and they win at last place. I did something like that, I think. I think it happened to my sister, and she lost. That was funny. Oh, Goat bought Arkham Asylum and Arkham City today. Cool. Great movie. Great games they are. Arkham City is my second favorite game of all time. Rohan says, what do you think of the 2 final episodes of Invincible Season 3, and do you think it's an improvement over Season 2? And what scores would you give the 3 seasons of Invincible? Season 1 I would give like a 9. I think it was a 9 out of 10 I'd give Season 1. Season 2, I think I'd give that like a 6 or a 5. I was not impressed with Season 2. And Season 3, I'd probably give it an 8. Yeah, it was a good season. The final episode was insane, man. It was crazy, that was. So yeah, that was great. Fireboy says, I'm going to go to bed now. Bye, Eric. Okay, take care, Fireboy. Thanks for joining the stream. I really appreciate it. Any movies you're looking forward to coming out this or next month? This month I was kind of looking forward to The Conjuring 4, but I also knew the director wasn't James Wan, so I was less excited for that reason. Next month we were going to get Mortal Kombat 2, but that's not happening now. I mean, The Black Phone Part 2 coming out next month is something I'm kind of interested in, so I think that could be cool, so we'll see. Big Bat, I don't think we need an adult Ben 10 series like Invincible, but probably more mature. I would be into that, yeah. Ark Survival Evolved. That sounds familiar, Goat. That does. Ark Survival... Let's see. Survival Evolved. If it's a mobile... Oh, it's not a mobile game. Okay, cool. I'm just seeing posters, not showing any freaking gameplay. Show me some gameplay. Oh, that looks kind of cool. Not my kind of game, though, I don't think. Oh, Rohan says, what do you think of the Rex episode character in Invincible Season 3? I thought that was kind of lame, quite frankly. I thought they could have picked a better moment for it to happen, but they picked a lame moment, and I wasn't quite impressed with it. I was thinking, if you're going to kill this character or something, you should do it earlier, and they did it way too late. Yes, Big Bash, I did watch Generator Rex as a kid, but not too much. Just a couple episodes here and there when nothing else was on. I never had time to really get into it because, you know, it was just another show that you had to get involved in, and I think we were just comfortable watching the shows that we were already watching, so we didn't get involved in another one. Will there be Invincible Season 3? Let's watch the goat. No, I've already seen all the episodes and I didn't record myself. I was like the last one out of everyone to watch it, so I thought there's no need this time, so I didn't. Jake says, do you remember your first video game? Well, the first video games that I played, I don't even think they were really PC games. I think they were more games like on TV, like they would, like on our grandparents' house, they would have Sky, and on Sky you could play little video games like a Beehive game, which was basically like a puzzle bobble game. But Beehive, you can look it up, Sky Beehive game or something like that, you should find it. We played that. That's one of the early games I remember. Oh, I remember my first game I ever played. It was the Windows 95 pinball game. In fact, I've installed it on my Steam Deck right here. I've installed it on Linux. It's there. It's known as the best pinball game ever, and yeah, that was probably my first game. I'm sure I must have had another one, but that's the earliest I can remember. Rohan says, what did you think of Conquest in Invincible Season 3 in the final episode, like with the voice actor and how he was written as a villain? I thought it was really cool. He was demented, how he enjoys doing what he does, hurting people and all that. That was, again, painful to watch, but it was a really good episode. And I like that Atom Eve and Invincible are both coupled up now, as opposed to the bullshit with Amber. I never liked Amber. So, yeah. Goat says he watched Inside Out today and gave it a 3 out of 10. Wow. I'm surprised by that, Goat. I actually thought Inside Out was a good movie. The first one, not the second one. I wasn't too fond of that. Big Bash says, Eric, did you know there was a Mario game about Mario teaching typing? It was called Mario Teaches Typing. Wow, I did not know that. Interesting. But as a kid, we also had a lot of click and play, what do they call it? Point and click type games. If you look up Puddle Books, Baxter's Birthday, Yolanda Yells a Lot, Louis Lumpfield, I'm sure there's another one in there as well. That's Adibu for PC. A lot of these PC games we played, Yolanda Yells a Lot and all that stuff. So yeah, we played a lot of those types of stuff as kids, and I have fond memories of them. I've got Adibu installed on my Steam Deck, but I've not played it yet. Jake says, by the way, thoughts on Shark Tale? I know most people don't care about it, but I have major nostalgia for it. I have major nostalgia for it too. I love Shark Tale. I watched it as a kid with my dad. We went to go visit my grandparents, and because it was quite boring in the house sometimes, of course, my dad says, let's go for a drive. So we went for a drive, me and him, and we went to a theatre that was there on one of our, as we were driving by, just popping into places, and it said Kids Club, which was something that was happening at the time, where they said you and your kid can go in to see a movie for £1 each. So for £1 each, my dad paid for it. We went in and we watched Shark Tale, and I didn't expect to go watch a movie at that point, but we did, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, my dad enjoyed it. I love Shark Tale. A lot of people don't like it, but I really liked it. Ken says, Eric, do you like Pacific Rim 1? I do. I thought it was fun. A lot of fun. Jake says, watching that on my new projector that I reviewed recently, or watching it on my OLED monitor, I think watching Pacific Rim would be really cool on those, so I'm curious to do that soon, actually. Jake says a lot of people view it as a cash-in on Finding Nemo, even though the stories are nothing alike besides the whole fish thing. I never even drew those comparisons myself. It felt like a completely different type of movie. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I like the story, the whole shark slayer thing that he was. That was funny. Very funny. Jake says, as a kid, it was the first film I begged my parents to go watch in theaters. Oh, really? Did they take you? Big Bash, I don't really know what kind of film I would make. It requires thought, and I've never really given it much thought. Jake says, yeah, they did. Oh, that's good. Are you looking forward to the Black Phone 2, says Trevor. I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm curious to watch it. Let's see what they do. Got to get going now. See you next stream. Great stream tonight. No problem at all. Take care, Deadwolf. Thanks for joining. Next week we'll be on Discord doing a voice call, and we'll see if we watch something together, or just chat with a voice call. So with a video call. So if you want to do that, then be sure to head on over to Patreon and become a Discord member, and we'll look forward to chatting with you next week. And finally hearing your voice would be fun. So take care, bud. Thanks for joining the stream. Rohan says, do you think Angstrom Levi is a weak villain in Invincible? Let me just double check who Angstrom Levi is. I think I know who he is, but let me just double check. Yeah, it was. I thought it was him. Yeah, I do think he's a weak villain. I don't feel sorry for him. And of all the Invincibles, there's a lot of evil Invincibles, but our one is good. And that stupid piece of shit Angstrom Levi, I don't care about his trauma or the people that he lost. If you've lost your family, take it up with the Invincible that killed him. But I don't know why he just pusses out and instead is like, I'm not going to fight the Invincible that killed him. I'm going to go to the multiverse and find the one good Invincible and kill him. There's no sense to that or logic. So yeah, I hate that villain. I just think he's an idiot. And I'm like, take it up with the person that actually killed him. This other universe Invincible never killed him. So yeah, I really can't stand him. Oh, that's cool, the Dark Lord. That is interesting. The G-Game says, any tips to not stutter as much while talking? I don't know if you're saying that ironically or not. I've always kind of looked at myself as someone who I wish could speak a bit more fluently. Because I can in certain situations when I'm engaging in conversations, but there are times where when I'm trying to formulate my point on the spot, I feel like I'm struggling sometimes to do so. But other people say then I'm not, so I don't know. Are you saying that ironically, or... Nash one says, hey Eric, just wanted to let you know I'm a huge fan. Oh, thanks bud, I really appreciate that. Jake says, yeah, I always enjoy being on these live streams. You guys feel like pals. Oh, that's nice. Oh. The G-Gamer says, no, it's just I stutter a lot and you seem to talk much more fluid, so I just wanted to ask. Oh, okay. Honestly, I'm always very harsh on myself when it comes to communication skills. There was a time where I used to be better at it, but there comes a point now where I don't know what it is. My brain, it feels like it just hits a brick wall sometimes. It's like, if you can imagine my stream of information being like a straight line as I'm thinking and I'm speaking, it's all a straight line. But then as I'm speaking, it's like all of a sudden there's a brick wall where my mind just stops, hits a brick wall, has to wait for that wall to slowly get up, and then it's able to move slowly again the stream. And it has to, like, you know, pick up slowly. You might notice that in some of these streams that I do. It's a weird feeling and a weird thing, but that happens to my mind, that does. In terms of communicating, the best advice I can give is think about what you want to say before you say it, and I don't just mean that from, you know, from a morality point of view or from a good manners point of view. I mean that in all in all honesty, in terms of formulating your point, think how you're going to say it, how you're going to phrase your sentence, and then go ahead and do it. And you get better the more you go. For me, I'm always looking to improve my communication skills, and the benefit of YouTube videos is that you're scripted, whereas stuff like this, you have to be much more fluent, and you got to be able to know how to improv and everything. And yeah, it is trickier. Some days you're on more than others. Some days, I'm sure you've seen me, where I'm just off and I'm just a bit of a mess. But yeah, it just all comes down to, as they say, practice makes perfect. So yeah. Eric, Joshman says, I was asking you a question. Have you ever grew up watching Max and Ruby back in the day? And have you watched Dora back in the day? And would you agree that Dora sucks nowadays? I don't know what Dora is nowadays, so I can't comment on that. Dora, my youngest brother, he used to watch Dora the Explorer, so that was something he was into. I was too old for it. I've not seen Max and Ruby. I can't comment on that either. Khan says, I also absolutely hated Powerplex from Season 3. The guy acts like Invincible destroyed his life. Yeah, his father is to blame, but what does this have to do with Mark, who tried to stop him? Yeah, exactly. I also agree with that too. It's like, take it out with the Ultraman. But if Ultraman's gone, he's like, I can't take it out on Ultraman, so I'll take it out on the victim. You know, because Mark was the victim there. If he wants to get mad at anyone, get mad at Ultraman. But Ultraman is dead, so he's blaming Invincible. Plus, the way he was using his powers, I was like, dude, you're going to hurt your wife and kid. And then look at what ended up happening. So yeah. But his wife was also pushing for it too, which was, yeah. What is my favorite South Park episode? I don't know, there's a lot of them. I like the whole console wars they were doing. Where it's like about the PS4 and the Xbox. I mean, the kids were so stupid to want to get an Xbox, especially after what Microsoft did with the Xbox One announcement, which pretty much single-handedly killed them. Everyone was playing on PS4. Even Big Bang Theory was doing a thing against PS4 or Xbox, where Sheldon was trying to decide, and it's like, PS4, there is no Xbox. And another South Park episode I liked growing up was the Tourette Syndrome one, when Cartman fakes getting Tourette Syndrome. That was funny. The human Sentai pad was also sick, that was. And when Randy said the N-word on TV, I never even knew what the N-word meant at that time. That's how young I was. But I found that episode to be funny. Yeah, the episode with the fleas as well. That was also really funny. I watched that on I was watching these episodes on my DS back in the day. It was really cool. There was a forum where people converted South Park episodes to put on your Nintendo DS, which is what I did, before smartphones are what they are today. The G-Gamer says, what was the first ever show disappointment to you, like when you saw a show and a later season was a huge disappointment, or it was bad? A show that was a huge disappointment to me. When I was younger, are you saying? Yeah, I did see Pickle Rick, Josh, man, at the time, but I've not seen Rick and Morty for a while now. I need to catch up. Favorite Rick and Morty villain is Scary Terry, the Freddy Krueger parody, where he just says bitch every other word. He does look a bit like Morbius, doesn't he? Mephisto from Ironheart, just a little, yeah. I can't think of a show that I didn't like when I was younger. I can't think of one. Yeah. Oh, the gay fish joke. Yeah, that was also funny. Yeah. What was it? In terms of a show that actually disappointed me, I remember Shaolin Showdown disappointed me. It would always have a good season, then a bad season, then a good season, then a bad season. I remember that. So Shaolin Showdown back in the day disappointed me. Jake says the South Park Human Centipede episode is still nowhere near as disturbing as the actual movie, and I don't just mean the fact that it's a cartoon. Yeah, I watched clips of the Human Centipede because I was just curious, but I never watched it all the way through. Although I think I remember the second movie was like black and white all the way through, and because apparently it was just too gross or something. That's why they made it black and white. And the third movie, I've never even seen that, but apparently it takes place in a prison. That's insane. Jess says, hey Eric, tell me your thoughts on the Elm Street remake from 2010. It gets better the more I see it, but it's still not great. It's a above average movie, I think, or average to above average. Depends what mood you're in. Okay, 10 more minutes on the stream. So if you guys have any questions, now's the time to ask them. And again, if you do it through Streamlabs or through Super Chat, I'll answer your question immediately above all the others. You'll get priority. Joshua says, Eric, do you got plans to check out Zootopia 2 when it comes out in November? And do you think Disney is going to screw it up like they always do? And will you still do a versus video on both? I don't know if I'll do a versus video on both. I'll tell you that right now. I never said I would. I said I'll consider it closer to the time. But we'll see. Electrify says, what would you imagine your first movie script would be? My first movie script? Thanks for the $5 super chat, buddy. I don't know. I've not really thought about it. But I guess it would be... It would be a horror movie. If I was thinking of something right now, I'll tell you what genre it is, because I don't know what the story would be. But it would be a horror movie mixed with some kind of like drama element in there. That's what I would try to do. I'd try to make it family oriented. Family oriented with a few characters and a couple kid characters. Well, I say a few characters. Just a few characters, including like a mother and father and maybe a couple kids. Something like that. That's what I would do. Billy says, Eric, I'll most likely commission you on a versus video of the fan-made Zootopia 2 from Brown Table and the actual Zootopia 2. Would you accept that project? Yeah, if you commission it for a versus video, then yeah, I guess I will. It's the price of commissioning a versus video is pretty steep. So if you're willing to save up till then yeah, if you want me to, I'll do it. Brown Tables thing. I've never thought of doing it, comparing it to someone else's vision of a video, but yeah, okay, if you want me to do it, I could. Shapink says, surprised you haven't done a Zootopia versus the Bad Guys versus video. Zootopia and the Bad Guys are two very different types of movies, though. I don't know why you'd want to do a versus on that. Jake says, as a 10-year-old, I watch South Park on occasion. Keep in mind, in Canada TV airing, some of it is censored. I was still too scared to watch the Woodland Christmas episode once I heard of it. Oh yeah, I saw that. That was messed up. That was. That they were doing it for the Antichrist or something. That was messed up. Because yeah, sacrifice me. that was yuck. That was messed up. What was I going to mention? Yeah, I had a love-hate relationship with South Park. Sometimes they would do something that was too much, and I'd be like, okay, I'm not going to watch anymore. Then eventually I'll come across an episode, and then eventually they would do an episode that was just going too far, then I'd be like, yeah, I'm kind of done again. So yeah, I used to have a love-hate relationship with South Park. The Dark Lord says, what do you think of the Scott Tenorman episode of South Park, where Cartman was made iconic for being the evil monster he is? That episode, do you know what I said to you, that I would have I would have a love-hate relationship with South Park, and then I would watch it, then I would stop watching it, and then I would just randomly watch it again. That's what I did, and I happened to watch the Scott Tenorman episode. I thought this was just going to be a fun rivalry. I did not know it was going to end up turning into that sick, demented ending that it was. That was like, holy shit. Like what the other kid characters like Stan and Kyle, how they were reacting, is exactly how I was reacting. That was messed up. That was so messed up. And yeah, that was great. That was probably the most memorable Cartman moment, when the kid said, "Dude, I think it's best that we never f with Cartman again." And he says, "Good idea, dude." That was bad. That was. Big Bash, the South Park music is actually so good. Trey and Matt have so much musical talent. Interesting. But yeah, the Dark Lord, that is the most horrible thing Cartman has done. There was one point where I think he was being interviewed by a therapist or checked out by a therapist, and the therapist was trying to call Cartman fat and everything, as part of his test. And then Cartman just takes out his phone and doesn't react. He's just on the phone writing a bunch of stuff. And then all of a sudden the therapist's phone starts calling. So the therapist picks up his phone and he's on there. And the woman on the phone is his wife, and she's talking to him, and apparently she's been caught or found out about something. And he tells her, no, put down the gun. Then she shoots herself. And then he looks back at Cartman, and Cartman finishes typing, puts his phone down, and says, "I'm not fat. I'm just big boned." And the guy looks at him like Cartman did that. Like, that was fun. That was another dark moment that he had. Yeah, the Dark Lord, his wife ends it all. She kills herself. Jake says, ironically, someone old told me about the ending before I saw it, so it wasn't surprising to me. Oh, that's a shame, because that was such a huge moment, that was. Drawn Together, Billy says, have you seen Drawn Together? Is on all levels of dark. I've not seen Drawn Together, I don't think. Let me quickly see. Wow, it's an 18 rating. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that it's all kinds of dark. Big Bash says Gumball is basically South Park for kids. Billy says that show makes South Park look innocent and tame by comparison. Wow. Have you seen the Tweak X Craig episode? I don't know what the Tweak... Let me see. No, I don't think I have. No. Outed as gay, though as surprised as everyone. Sounds like it's time for Cartman's Cupid self to work his magic and maybe on Cartman too. Oh, that Cartman is Cupid Yee, I swear. Oh. Yeah, Cartman is such a racist pig, he is. Seriously. You'll know what I mean if you've seen some of those episodes. Okay, we're gonna do 3 more minutes, then we're gonna end the stream, so get your questions in. Again, Streamlabs or Super Chats, if you do questions through those, your question gets to the top of the pile, and I'll answer it immediately. Darklaw says, did you see the Muhammad episode of South Park? They were the 200 and 201 episodes of the show. Didn't they put a censor bar all over him? So people couldn't see him? Because apparently it's sacrilegious to, like, draw the prophet, which I totally respect, if that's the kind of thing that people say when it comes to cultures and everything. So if they say, don't draw him, then I'll say, yeah, okay, don't draw him. So, I don't know, Dark Lord, you tell me, did they uncensor him? It seems like they always censored it. Billy says, oh, we won't have the Discord video call anymore. I missed the beginning of the stream and the last stream, so I don't know if something changes. No, we will have the Discord video call. I says, instead of doing a live stream every single week, I said what I'll do is I'll do a live stream 1 week, then the week after that we'll do a Discord video call, all of us. And then the next week after that I'll do a live stream again, and then a Discord video call. So that's what I said that we would do. So it'll be a nice switch up here and there. So yeah, that's what it basically is. So yeah, if you want to join the Discord video calls every other week, all you gotta do is head on over there. I know, Billy, that you've already become a Discord member, but I'm saying for anyone else, if you want to become a Discord member, then we can chat. Twice a week, twice a month now. And also, it can be watch parties too. So yeah, if you want to watch episodes of shows that I'm watching or that I just want to chill out with, you guys can join me, and we can all watch together. Khan says, okay, with it though, make sure to put a community tab when we get to a live stream, Eric. I'll also put a community tab to let you guys know that we're going to be doing a Discord as well, so yeah. Big Bash says, I'm personally not offended by 200 and 201. I'm Muslim, but South Park makes fun of everything, so it's fine to me. Usually I would agree, but there are certain lines I wouldn't cross. There are other lines that South Park crosses, but in the case of the one that we were talking about with the Muhammad episode, don't they usually say in your faith that you can't draw him? That's what I've heard, that it's sacrilegious. You cannot draw him. In which case, it's like, if that's what they say, then I would say, yeah, okay, fine. Like, that's totally understandable, especially with how modern day tries to, like, taint anything when it comes to the Muslim faith. And you just do a simple search on ChatGPT, it will tell you otherwise. It'll tell you the opposite of what Western society is trying to paint them as. Kent says, Eric, what's your thought and rating on Revenge of the Sith? Oh, I love Revenge of the Sith. It's like a very high 8 out of 10 for me. Khan says, thoughts about the updates about the Batman 2. I like where it sounds cool, sounds exciting. Matt Reeves knows how to pitch a movie. Let's hope he did a good job with it, though. I'm guessing that Two-Face will be in it. Harvey Dent Two-Face, and I'm also guessing that Hush might be the villain, and Mr. Freeze might be in there. I don't know, we'll see, because the Penguin ended with it snowing, so it'll be perfect for Mr. Freeze to come in, but Matt Reeves also expressed interest in doing Mr. Freeze back when he was doing interviews for the first Batman movie. The Dark Lord says, Comedy Central did Matt and Trey didn't like that, as they believe either everything's open and mocking or nothing is. Plus they showed Muhammad in the Super Best Friends episode already. Okay, they probably shouldn't have, though, sounds like. Matt Reeves confirmed that Sophia is not going to be in the Batman Part 2. Yeah, I heard about that, and I don't mind it. I also heard Catwoman might not be in it, and I'm also not against that either. Because it would be... The Batman movie is supposed to take place like a month or something after the first one. Maybe even less time than that. So for her to leave and then come back to Gotham in like a month tops doesn't really do much for her arc. So maybe they'll give her a show what she's getting up to, and show how she changes for when she comes to the Batman Part 3, maybe. So yeah. Oh, another South Park episode I loved is when Butters becomes a pimp. When it's like he wants to... He pays a girl in the school to basically kiss him, so he says, I've kissed a girl. And it starts out innocent, but then he starts turning it and saying, how about you get paid for every kiss? I'll bring other people to you that you can kiss, and then I'll have money for it. And then all of a sudden it goes from this cutesy thing into like a full-on pimp business where he actually gets advice from pimps. It was insane. That was hilarious. That's how Butters has become such a great character, such a hilarious character. So yeah. Joshua says, Eric, I was asking your question. Will you do a little quick movie review on Zootopia 2 when it comes out in November? And would you also consider doing a video centering the film's release? A video centering the film's release? What do you mean by that? When it comes out, yeah, I guess I could do a quick movie review of it. Yeah, I'll give it a watch and we'll see. My grandma made me turn that episode off as a kid. Lol, I was watching it and she walked in. Oh, wow. My parents did that with one episode. It was where the teacher was going out with Ike, where Ike liked his teacher, and she was actually... That episode was messed up. And then when Kyle went to the cops, and they were like, nice. Tell me, was she doing oral on him? And I remember my parents, they were not... Like, they were shocked by what they heard. Like, when you're shocked in the way where you're kind of not laughing at the joke, but you're laughing at the fact that they said that. And then they said, alright kids, let's turn this off. This is not something you should be hearing. And they turned it off, I remember. So, yeah. Joshman says, Eric, I'm still nervous about Zootopia 2, but I will say this to you. If Disney screws it up the 4th time in a row, then that is going to be it for me. I'm going to consider boycotting. Well, that's to each his own, for sure. I don't think they will mess it up. I think something like that they don't want to mess up, but we'll see. The Dark Lord says, oh god, that nutcase. That episode is so realistic, yet so frustrating. Yeah, it is. That's what I mean when I say South Park can go over the top, and it's why I have a love-hate relationship with it. Sometimes they go over the top, and it's like, yeah, you're going over the top, but it's just ugly. It's just nasty. It's just something you don't want your mind even going there, even for a joke. Although Cartman in that episode was hilarious when he was trying to go... When he was yelling at people to say, give me your hall pass. Even Butters, when Butters was peeing, he just slammed the door open in the bathroom, said, where's your hall pass? While Butters is peeing in the urinal. He's like, oh, where is it? Oh, God, I can't see it. And then Cartman grabs him and, like, arrests him, throws him on the ground. That was hilarious. So that was a funny part of the episode, but sadly it was attached to that teacher. So yeah, that was kind of messed up. Jake says the suicide scenes in South Park are often removed on Canadian TV. The other violent scenes are kept in, though. What about the episode where Cartman has Tourette's, though, when he goes on uh, Chris Hansen's show? Was it Chris Hansen's show that he goes on to? And all those people come in and they start shooting themselves? What did the Canadian censors do then? Because there was a ton of pedos coming in, all basically offing themselves. So yeah, how do they censor that? They have to censor that whole joke, I'm guessing. Joshman says the stream about to end because you said you would end it in 3 minutes. I did, didn't I? We're talking about South Park 10, Rex. Yeah, I guess we'll end the show. Wow, 5 minutes over. We just started talking about South Park a bunch there. Billy says the Tourette's Association actually considered that episode a great one to explain what Tourette's is. Oh wow, really? Did they? How do you want the DCU Batman to be, said Nash One. Nash One, if the DCU Batman, I would like it to kind of be like either the Batman the Animated Series Batman or the Arkham Batman. Basically Kevin Conroy's version. But if it's under James Gunn's supervision, I don't think James Gunn has it in him to do a Batman. It's like everything about his being just goes against what is required for a Batman. I think he'll find a way to mess it up, personally, with Batman. Oh, Jake says that scene is just entirely cut. Wow, but that's the whole payoff of that scene. Whoa. Alright. The Dark Lord says, I also remember the episode Kenny died, and don't ask which one. Yeah, I won't. There's too many. Alright, guys, had an absolute blast. Who would have thought talking about South Park would be so fun? I actually also kind of surprised myself with how much I remember of the South Park episodes, because off the top of my head, I usually cannot remember, but you guys just asking me, all of a sudden I was remembering. So, yeah. Also, guys, before we stop, I'm gonna give you guys an opportunity here. Give me a second. Let me just answer Khan's question. He says before the stream ends, I'll be skipping time coding for the stream. So Rohan, you got this one, but make sure to time code the live stream announcement because that no one is really important. Okay. Thanks Khan and Rohan for taking care of that for me. I used to have to do that at the beginning, but it's got tiring for me. So I'm glad that you guys have done that for me. So thank you very, very much. But now here's what I'm going to say to you guys. I'm going to be giving you guys the opportunity to have a free quick movie review on me. But the only way that there's a way, something you have to do in order to do it. It's this. I'm just going to post this in the chat. You can see I've got my Amazon affiliates here, the UK and the US. Now, for those of you that don't know, full disclosure, other YouTubers probably wouldn't talk about this, but once you apply for Amazon affiliates, it's a way of you guys supporting me. So when you just do your regular Amazon purchases, if you do it by clicking my Amazon links and complete your purchase that way, within 24 hours of clicking my links, it basically means that by you just doing your regular purchases, Amazon will say, oh, you clicked on Eric Carter's link, so by doing that, we'll give Eric a bit of a commission because he led you to our website where you made a purchase, basically. So that's how these affiliates are meant to benefit and like help content creators like myself. Like, you know, if you want to help support us. Now, the thing is, this is something that you have to do, which is like you have to have, I think, 3 purchases on Amazon, the Amazon affiliates done. Otherwise, they shut your Amazon affiliates account down after 3 months. Or was it 6 months? So I've only got like about 2 months, 3 months left. I've not pushed it as much as I should have. So that's kind of on me right there. But I have at points like said to you guys that if you do any Amazon purchase, I'd appreciate it if you use my links. And that will always be the case because it would definitely support the channel. But I thought I'd give an incentive to you guys. If you actually do, if one of you, or whoever of you, does 3 purchases on my Amazon affiliate links, the first person to do the 3 purchases and basically removes that limit, so I will always have an Amazon affiliates account and they won't terminate it. The first person to complete 3 purchases with my affiliate links, they get to choose a quick movie review, and they don't have to pay any commission price that is on Patreon. So that can be any one of you. The first person to do 3 purchases on there, I'll make sure to, by clicking on the link on one of my links, I'll be sure to, you guys let me know, and I'll be sure to give you the quick movie review commission for free. So yeah, that's basically like you could look at it as a giveaway, you look at it as a competition, however you want to look at it. I thought I'd just let you guys know. So if you've done 3 purchases using my link, try to do them as 3 separate if you want, or 3 all in one. I don't know if that will work or not, but if it basically lifts the suspension or whatever, like if they say that I'm done, I got my account, I can keep it now, I'll look at that as a win, and you get to get a free quick movie review on me. So you request it, and I'll make the quick movie review for you. So yeah, let's see. The Dark Lord says, "All right, somebody buy the most absurd things quickly and make our captain watch something interesting." Yeah. So yeah, you guys let me know when you've done it. The first person to do it will be able to choose whatever they want me to review, whatever movie they want me to review. Of course, it has to be something that, keep it clean. It can't be like, I'm not going to review 50 Shades of Grey or something like that. I don't watch those kinds of movies, so it could be anything else, but just not something like that. So yeah, anyway guys, that is it. Thank you all very, very much for joining the stream. Love chatting with you guys as always. Like I said, next week we're not going to have a live stream, but we are going to have a live video call over on Discord, so make sure you join my Patreon, and as well as getting all these perks, you will also gain access to my private Discord server, and you can join the video call where we'll all be able to chat with each other live, and also we'll get to do watch parties and watch movies live, watch TV shows live, and we can all get ready, get pizza, get fizzy drinks, junk food, snacks, whatever we want, and we can all watch movies together. So yeah, I look forward to doing that with you guys. Thank you all very, very much for watching. Thank you all for supporting me after all this time. And good luck to the first person to actually complete those 3 Amazon purchases by using my links over there. So thanks very much for watching, everyone. I really appreciate it. And I'll catch all of you very soon. Take care.